There was a time when Mercedes-Benz built cars with a very specific goal: not to win comparison tests, not to impress reviewers, not to chase trends. The goal was simple: build a car that would still be working decades later. That philosophy reached its purest form in the Mercedes-Benz W123. Introduced in the mid-1970s, the W123 arrived during a period of global uncertainty. Fuel crises, economic instability, and changing regulations were reshaping the automotive world. Many manufacturers responded by cutting costs and simplifying designs. Mercedes did the opposite. They overbuilt. From the very beginning, the W123 was designed as a long-term tool, not a disposable product. Engineers assumed the car would be driven hard, serviced inconsistently, and kept for far longer than most owners planned. So they engineered accordingly. The body panels were thick, the steel was heavy. Rust protection was taken seriously. The doors were reinforced. When you close a W123 door, it doesn't sound light or hollow, it sounds solid, final, almost reassuring. That sound became part of the car's identity. It told you something important. This car was not fragile. Under the hood, the approach was just as conservative. Engines were not tuned for peak output. They were tuned for longevity. Power figures were modest, even by the standards of the time, but the engines were understressed, meaning they rarely worked near their limits. The diesels became legendary: the 240D, the 300D, the 300TD wagon. These engines were slow, yes, but they were nearly indestructible. Taxi drivers across Europe chose them because they could run all day, every day, in all conditions. Cold starts, hot summers, long highway runs, heavy loads. The W123 simply absorbed it all. Mercedes expected some of these cars to exceed 1 million kilometers, and many of them did. Not as curiosities, as working vehicles. Inside, the philosophy continued. The interior of a W123 does not try to entertain you. It does not surround you with luxury in the modern sense. Instead, it offers clarity. Large, easy-to-read gauges, switches with deliberate resistance, controls that feel mechanical, not electronic. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is decorative for its own sake. Seats are firm and upright, designed for posture and endurance. Long drives were expected, not occasional. You sit properly in a W123, not reclined or sunk into cushions. Everything feels like it was chosen to reduce fatigue over time. Even the suspension reflects this mindset. The W123 does not float. It does not isolate completely, it communicates calmly. You feel the road, but gently. You feel the weight of the car settle into corners. You feel the steering load build naturally. There is no urgency. The car's never asking you to rush. That calmness is one of the W123's defining traits. At highway speeds, the engine settles into a steady rhythm. Wind noise is minimal. The car tracks straight and true. It feels unbothered, as if it was designed to do exactly this, forever. Mercedes tested the W123 relentlessly before release. Extreme climates, long endurance runs, harsh road conditions. If a component failed, it was redesigned, not merely replaced. Cost was not the first concern. Durability was. That approach made the W123 expensive to produce. But Mercedes believed their reputation depended on it. And they were right. Owners quickly learned that this car behaved differently than others. Maintenance intervals were forgiving. Small issues rarely became major failures. The car tolerated neglect better than it should have. That tolerance built loyalty. Families passed W123s down through generations. Taxi drivers refused to replace them. Mechanics learned them intimately because they saw the same cars year after year. These vehicles became part of daily life. Driving a W123 today feels almost meditative. There are no screens, no alerts, no digital distractions, just mechanical feedback and steady progress. You become more patient behind the wheel. You stop expecting instant acceleration. You plan movements. You flow with traffic rather than fighting it. The car rewards smoothness. In a modern world obsessed with speed and immediacy, the W123 feels like a reminder that not everything needs to be fast to be effective. It was never meant to be exciting, it was meant to be dependable. That is why so many still exist today. You still see W123s on the road, sometimes worn, sometimes beautifully preserved, still doing what they were designed to do. They are not rare because they were limited. They are rare because few companies build this way anymore. The W123 represents an era when engineers were allowed to finish their work, when longevity was not a marketing claim, but an expectation. It is often said that Mercedes lost money on every W123 they sold. Whether that is true or not, the spirit behind the statement matters. The car was not optimized for quarterly results. It was optimized for decades. That mindset is difficult to justify today, but it leaves a legacy that cannot be ignored. An old W123 does not beg for attention. It does not signal wealth. It does not chase nostalgia. It simply exists, quietly, reliably, with dignity. And in doing so, it reminds us of something important, that true quality does not announce itself.